Good morning. This is Amy coming to you from her parked car studios if you've watched any of my other videos. It's kind of my way of telling my police friends, listen, I'm safe. I'm doing this in my car. I'm in Ann Arbor. I have the distinct privilege of talking to a Kiwanis conference this morning about Police Week. They want to know just how they can involve their local communities. So, wanted to throw a couple ideas out to you guys. First of all, thank you to everyone that has you guys are awesome. Thank you for affirming the posts that we're putting up there. Thank you for the positive comments. Thank you for participating in the prayers. Thank you for signing up for the email list. We want to continue to hear from you, and we want to know from you, ideas that you have, stories you come across that you think we should help publicize more for our Michigan police. And we also want to know, just give us feedback. Tell us what school districts are saying. Tell us what fellow church members are saying, that, hey, we want to help the police, but here's a roadblock. Or we want to help the police, but here's a question we have. Shoot us a message, and maybe it's something that we can create a resource for or answer questions. So let us know. So one of the things that we need is volunteers for a VIP position. We're going to organize the state based on regions. So some of you will say, okay, Amy, Police Week is I got an email from somebody this week who's like, Police Week has been going on for a long time now. Can you please take me off this list? I was like, yes, you're removed from the list, but just clarification. So as we all know, President JFK started it in 1962, and he established the 15th of May to be Peacekeepers Day, where we honor and we celebrate the lives of the men and women that served behind the badge that lost their life. But then the days surrounding it are Police Week. So every year, the days surrounding May 15th are Police Week. It's been like that since 1962. So what we're doing with Police Week Michigan is simply launching off of that, is taking what our courageous President JFK established and building it out, letting the world know that it exists. So Police Week Michigan. Well, what we're also doing is establishing a 501c3 with it. An ideal situation is that 5 years down the road, the culture is radically changed and we won't need an organization like this. But the purpose of this organization is to, let me put it this way. Police have our back every week of the year. And it's only fair and right that they know that citizens in Michigan have their back every week of the year. So Police Week Michigan, it's not just a week, it's a movement. The purpose of it is to inspire citizens, equip citizens, educate citizens on how to stand up, speak up, show up in support of our law enforcement. And really, I think there's a lot of potential to it. It's different on different areas. Like one county may decide you want to do X, Y, and Z, and another little city may do something different. It doesn't really matter. We're not a government. We're just simply, I kind of like to see Police Week Michigan almost as like a kitchen table, that it invites other people to come to the table to say, what are you doing? How can we support you? But let's use our networks and let's help advance your cause. Here's an example. A new friend, shout out to Jennifer Keller with Backing the Blue Michigan, she got in touch with me and she's like, Amy, we have this big event coming up, but we need to meet. It's a cruise. You probably saw me post about it. So we need a minimum of 75 tickets, and we've only had 64 people RSVP. Can you help us get the word out? So I took a few minutes and blasted it out to different networks. She texted me yesterday and said, we now have 70 RSVPs. So see, it's not about Police Week Michigan getting all the glory no, it's what are you doing? How can we support you? Because we're all in this together of changing culture together. So one of the visions with Police Week Michigan is that we will, as a culture, as a citizen culture, start to change how we do life. That we're not just acknowledging police when something traumatic happens, but we are even starting to train our kids and our teenagers how to view police and how to respect them. So one of the ideas is to kind of organize our state almost into grassroots teams. So we're going to break it down into regions. So for example, let's just say hypothetical, like region 1 is Jackson, Lansing, and Hillsdale, just hypothetical. So what we need are citizens that are from around Michigan that say, hey, I'm Amy. Here's the county I'm in, here's my zip code, and here's my email. I would love to be a part of your area regional team for Police Week Michigan. So Amy, what does that mean though? Well, really, it's whatever you want it to mean. Kind of what I'm looking for are citizens that we can reach out to. So let's say Lansing, Jackson, Hillsdale, that I have 30 people that have emailed. Let's just say that I have 30 people that have emailed me to say, hey, put me on your regional team. That becomes a team then that myself and my colleagues, Paul and Scott, like we can, and Abby, and we can email to say, all right, guys, here are some ideas for how you can start to engage your region. And that might mean if everybody wants to, like we can, so all 30 people, I can make sure you have one another's like names and email addresses, and you can work together. And so we can cast a vision to say, well, okay, for this region, let's see how many city councils we can get to pass resolutions that Police Week Michigan is this date to this date in 2020. Or let's go after all of our schools to contact the superintendents to see if they could use our teacher packet. We're developing a teacher packet. That would be something you can deliver to the schools via electronic, just as an honoring tool to teachers. You know, we'll say, thank you for what you do. Your job is so important. Here are some ideas for how you can involve officers in the classroom, or how officers can come speak to your assembly. But we also, what about having that regional team contact the churches to say, hello pastor, or hello secretary, did you know that you can contact your local police and they could come do security training for you? Did you know that they want to be invited to your potlucks, that they want to be included in what you're doing? So those are just some of the ideas. And then as we get closer to Police Week each year, that will be a team that we can reach out to say, all right, so can you let us know, are there police events taking place this week? Ceremonies, memorials that we need to put on our website that you need help promoting and things like that. So what we need help really are finding the men and women, boys and girls, who are like, I have a passion to support police. I'm not asking you to commit for a lifetime. If that's what God calls you, that's awesome. But even if you say in your mind, okay, I want to help with this, and at any time you can say, take me off the list, this is too much. But we do just need men and women, and I want to engage all of you. So some of you may be homebound, may not be able to travel, but there's so much that you could do to help the cause. You could write letters to the editor that could then be distributed to newspapers. You could pick up the phone, or you could shoot an email to the different media outlets in your area to say, FYI, I just want to let you know, citizens really care about what police are doing. Could you go the extra mile, Mr. Media Person or Miss Media Person, to tell the positive stories? So I just want to, I want to thank you guys for like being a part of our universe here. This is when people ask me for this big event we're doing next year, I went and toured the vendor hall, and the guy's like, okay, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. Because when I say that, I mean, this is there's something so organic about this, and that we really are just taking like one step at a time. And so, like if grassroots start coming to me and say, we want X, Y, and Z, okay, well, let's see about expanding that. But for our event next year, we don't know if there'll be 150 people, if there'll be 10,000. So it really is one step at a time. So see what jives in your family, like with your community. But all I would ask is just prayerfully consider, like, okay, God, how would you have me start to set an example for even my neighbors of how to give a hat tip to the police? I do think that we can make a huge impact. Your life matters, and I just want to affirm that in you, that I know Paul, myself, Scott, I mean, all of us are just blown away when we get messages from you guys that are saying, thank you for what you're doing. It kind of rocks our world. And so we just want to know that we want you to know that you are an American, You have an important role to play in this moment of history, and so we would love to know if you would like to be a part of our regional teams. Tag a friend that God brings to mind as you're listening to this. Share this post. Share it with your community group. And together, we are going to make some amazing changes. Have a great Saturday, everyone.